Alright, want to do a walk around on this 92 Volvo 240. I'll try and focus on as much as I can to give you an experience of what it's like to be with it, since you may or may not be able to get close enough to see it. So, first, a general view. And there's not a ton of blemishes on this car, but I'm going to walk up and try and show each of them individually so you can get a feel for it. There are a couple little dimples. Let's see if I can angle it in such a way to show. You can kind of see one right there on the back trunk lid. There is a small kind of hairline crack in the taillight right here that you can see. There's some very, very minor scuffing on the bumper cover. There's a strange kind of dimpling on the roof, and I say strange because it is actually slightly raised right here. So I admittedly don't know what happened, but there's the paint is still intact, but it's just awkward because the dent comes from the underside, and if you look from the inside, there's nothing damaging the headliner there, because it would almost look as if something had kind of poked its way up from underneath, but there's no indication of something happening like that from inside. There's a couple just real minor chips like this on a couple of the door edges. There's two little scrapes in the vinyl kind of shoulder trim here. But if you look, none of the vinyl trim here is cracked at all, which is, I haven't seen very many like this. This is honestly the biggest flaw. It's right here on this driver's side fender. There's like this kind of stippling in the paint. If you rub your finger along it, you can actually feel it. And as to whether or not it is something that could be corrected or not, I don't know. It doesn't appear that this fender was ever replaced, or it doesn't show indication of body work. But that is a kind of a strange thing that it has. There are two small chips in the windshield. There's one right here. There's one like directly under the wiper right there. Neither of them leak. There is a couple very small rock chips on the leading edge of the hood. Here, there, and then one more right here and here. None of the headlights are cracked. They all appear to be original. This car does have the black trim, so there's no chrome on the grille or on the kind of the rub strips on the side. There is a slight little chip right here, and then there's one little spot where the pinstriping has come away right here. And then there's, moving on to the inside. The inside literally looks almost brand new, but there are two spots in the driver's side carpet, one right here and here, where the carpet was worn through. I found a set of blue mats from a kind of a junked car that I put in here just because I like having the all-weather mats, but the carpet underneath is in great shape. Big thing on these cars is, if you look, there's not a single, let's see if I can show this, there's not a single crack in the dash, which I was pretty blown away by. Both door pockets are intact, no cracks. Kind of rocker trim, it's not pulled away. None of the side trim is pulled away. I have extra clips for both of those because initially I had planned to pull them and do some and just buff and polish the whole car. I did not. I ended up just, I clayed the whole car and then I waxed it. All the electronics work. Not that there's a ton, but they do. Start the car. Front windows. Rear windows. Turn the radio on.
And illegally, without my permission or knowledge.
Antenna goes up. NPR,
and somehow,
of course.
17 years and many.
This is the only issue with the radio, is that when you adjust the volume, you heard it when I turned it on. Sometimes it crackles real loud. Sometimes it doesn't. But if I turn this off, you'll see the power antenna goes down. And this had a manual antenna when I bought it, but I pulled a power antenna from another car and put it in, so it does not have the aerial down switch in the dash like a lot of them do. They have power antennas, but the antenna is functional with the radio. Just a quick overview of the interior. Turn this off. As I pointed out, the dash is literally nearly immaculate. Headlights, taillights all function as they should. Defroster works. The AC switch has a little bit worn off with a little snowflake, but the AC does blow cold. Heat is nice and hot. Headliner is literally nearly immaculate. Have a little bit of discoloring on the rear view mirror bracket. Trying to back this up as much as I can. I just got that little funky tripod wrapped around the headrest because I'm going to do a driving video in a little bit, but that's what that is, if you're wondering. So, as you can see, mileage right now is at 123, 254. Other than the driving video, it will not be driven again until the car sells. So hopefully this gives you a pretty good idea of the condition that the car is in, and also eliminates some questions just from looking at photos.